Hey everybody, welcome to Linuxcast. I'm your host, Matt.
And I'm Tyler.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Drew.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Linuxcast. We're going to be doing a podcast today where we talk about Linuxy things, kinda. We're not going to talk much Linux today, but don't make that a bad thing. We're going to talk about hardware this time, and it should be fun. So that's what we're going to do. But before we jump into the main topic, we don't really have a mini topic this time. I just thought we'd just go ahead and talk about, basically what we've been doing fairly recently. We do this like about once a month. Specifically, what I want to talk about, though, is there's someone who remembered his YouTube password and decided he was a YouTuber again. It's amazing. Nate, I'm sorry, Nate. It wasn't Nate. I did that on purpose. Tyler, you've been making videos lately. I wanted to blink twice. I made this joke in the comments, so I have to do it again. Blink twice if you're being held hostage and being forced to make videos. So, what have you been up to lately, man?
Man, I got a ThinkPad. Been running OpenBSD on it. It's been great. I've pretty much just been messing around with DWM, and because my ThinkPad doesn't have the greatest and latest CPU, I mean, it's like over 12 years old. I mean, it does run really great, but just like really heavy web apps, which ironically you would think Jitsi, what we're using now, counts as that. No, Discord, that's a heavy web app. So like stuff like that, I've been kind of like scripting out, making my own programs for searching, watching YouTube, querying Reddit. I've really just been kind of not bash scripting. I've been shell scripting a lot. So I'm using the default shell in OpenBSD, so I'm using KSH, which is much more simple than bash, but it's been nice. Overall, I probably won't be using Linux as my daily driver for quite a while. I've got my my big computer in another room running ZanyOS, but that's like my Jellyfin server. I haven't touched it in a while, so been nice.
I have a question for you. Are you podcasting from OpenBSD at this right moment?
Yeah. This is I'm running Jitsi in Chromium on OpenBSD. If I wasn't a little nervous that it might break something, I would just share the screen and run a pfetch. But
yeah,
I'm a little nervous. I don't want to like push my luck.
The reason why I asked is because you and I, before the other two guys joined, went through this experiment before. So let me tell, just for those of you who are new here, let me tell you a story. Tyler decided he was going to do OpenBSD before. He became famous for OpenBSD because Mental Outlaw actually mentioned him on his channel. Immediately after that, stopped using OpenBSD. But also, your experience with OpenBSD before was good, but it wasn't great for content creation. So I'm just kind of astonished at how, I mean, you look gorgeous, man. I mean, seriously. The beard envy is real. I'm just
well,
that out
like probably the coolest thing about it is how far they've been able to come in not too long, because it has been quite a bit since I've used OpenBSD, but it hasn't been like a few years. Like, I mean, maybe like a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. Like, I mean, it's been under 2 years since I tried out OpenBSD, and I mean, they've went from like not being able to have content creation at all to most things work. And I'm using a 12-year-old laptop, and this Jitsi call with YouTube, Audacity, and my terminal with HTOP running in the background and all of my services is just fine.
Are you using your audio interface and everything to go along with it and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Using my Rode Podcaster. Yeah.
Yeah, that's astonishing.
Yeah, it's really good.
I mean, just the as far as it's come is really impressive. So good job to the OpenBSD guys. I'm still going to use Linux because,
Well, I mean, I would still like, just because I use it, it doesn't mean I'm out here being like everyone else needs to run it. It's probably not going to work for you. If you like Steam, don't touch it. Like,
see, like the last time you used OpenBSD, you were taking challenges from Josh left, right, and center. So you used like Plan 9 for like a week or something. Like, is that gonna? I mean, are we
Yeah.
gonna see Plan 9 Tyler come back too?
No, no. I'm really happy where I'm at, and I think I'm gonna stay here for quite a while.
Yeah, okay. Drew, what have you been up to recently?
I've been working a lot actually, but one of the things that I was talking to the guys about just about an hour ago was I'm starting to create a live Debian CD that incorporates Btrfs. Now, having said that out loud, it puts a lot of pressure on me to finish it. And I hope that I can do that this week sometime. I don't know that I'll get it done this week, frankly, but 2 weeks. Give me 2 weeks, and I'll have something to look at. Hopefully,
And I will install it. It won't be. It won't be on this laptop because I tried to install Debian on this laptop yesterday, and it's not. It's too new. Apparently, it did not like that kernel whatsoever. It would not boot. So it'll have to be on something different. But I'm really looking forward to to Drew OS or whatever you end up calling it.
we'll see. We'll see.
But yeah, it should be pretty cool. All right. Nate, what about you? What have you been up to?
I actually been working on a video. Surprisingly, it's gonna be another hardware video that I'm taking my time to make it work. But this is the time where I'm actually going to do my joke in this podcast. For those of you that thought I was joking that I'd use floppy drives, today's podcast notes coming to you from a floppy drive.
For the audio listeners, he just put a floppy drive in a floppy disk drive, and he's
Yes.
going to actually use it.
Yes, and I'm going to run my notes off of it.
He just
Nice.
he just proved it.
3.5-inch floppy.
Yeah,
Just so we're clear.
He didn't go full.
If it was a 5 1/4, you'd get like full marks.
Yeah. Everyone knows you don't go full nerd.
I mean, I could, but I would have to move an entire system that's over here.
Okay.
Over here. And I'd rather not.
Also, every 5 seconds, you'd hear that little whirling it does every time it moves spots. So it'd be right in the audio thing. So,
Yep.
yeah. All right. Yeah, I don't have a floppy disk drive. I have a bunch of floppy disks. No way to read them. Someday, maybe. All right.
I paid 99 cents for that one.
99 cents. Okay. All right. So for me, I have been doing a crap load of blogging. So I challenged myself to blog every day for a whole month over on my personal blog. And it has been an experience. It's very much a self-reflective journey of sorts where I just kind of have to kind of think of things that I need to talk about. And this has been writing about them, which has been very kind of cool. Like for example, I made a top 10 bands of all time list. I made a top 10 movies of all time list. By the way, I got a lot of flack on Mastodon about my top 10 movies of all time because it turns out I like a bunch of shitty movies. I'm not gonna apologize for that. I do in fact like shitty movies. I can't help it, and I think they're good movies. They're not high culture. Go ahead, Tyler.
Matt, I will defend you, okay? Because one of my favorite things to do is turn on the movie The Room from time to time. It's that such bad, like it's so terrible. It's funny. Like I enjoy it.
All right, so I like Jason Statham as an actor. Okay, so I think that tells you everything you need to know about my movie taste. That I like. I didn't say he was a good actor. I said that I like his movies.
If
Okay.
we're being honest, I like Nicolas Cage.
I think I do too. I think he has some good movies.
Yeah.
He has some atrocious movies too. But
He does, but I still watch him because I like the actor.
yeah. When National Treasure came out, I watched that thing 6 times in a weekend. Don't know why. I did do it.
So full of inaccuracies, but I still watch the crap out of it.
Yeah. All right. And anyways, that's what I've been doing. I've been basically blogging. I moved from probably long ago well before this podcast, but I moved from WordPress to Ghost, a self-hosted instance of Ghost. And at first, I was not happy with that choice because it just kept freezing up the server. I actually had to do like hard reboots in order to actually get it to work. But like the last week or so, it's worked really well, so I've kind of stuck with it. It's okay. What I should have done was just create a Hugo site again, but I wanted to have a CMS experience, so I'll talk more about Ghost later on. But anyways, yeah, that's what I've been doing. So Anyways, I think what we're going to do now is move on to our main topic. Now, this one here actually came from Mr. Nate. So, Nate, you get to lead us off. We're going to be talking about our favorite peripherals. We're going to start off with ones that we have and that we use. I guess we don't have to use the word favorites, just ones that you have in hand that you want to use. It doesn't mean like, oh my God, I have this thing. It's freaking awesome. It's like, oh, I have this thing. It works. It doesn't catch the house on fire, whatever you need to do. But anyways, we're going to go around one at a time, I think, at least until we run out. I mean, if you run out before the rest of us, that's fine. Some of us are tech nerds and we have a bunch of crap, and that's okay. So
Obviously.
yeah. We would have never known that from Nate. I mean, he has no peripherals whatsoever.
We're working on a hardware video.
He's what you call a minimalist, okay?
There's hardly anything behind him. Okay?
All right. So we will let, seeing as how this was his topic, Nate, you can go first. What's your first favorite accessory?
I think it would surprise everybody, but it's actually this, my MX Master 2S. Because I travel with it and I edit all the podcasts on it, and plus it has like a secret side button, so it's easy to cut clips and stuff. And so yeah, I can't do without this mouse. I use it all the time.
Okay. I wonder if all four of us could actually reach and find one of those, or within. Drew's like mine still has a ball in it.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you're talking about that one too, that I'm using for the podcast. So
no, I mean like one of the balls that catch lint on the bottom.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
The one I use is actually this one. I'll talk about that later. But yeah, I have an MX Master. I think mine's the 3, but I don't know what the difference is, to be honest with you. I just use it.
Bigger buttons on the side.
Okay.
See mine smaller.
I've been setting up Linux a lot lately, and just let me rant for just a second before we move on. The installers for every Linux distro totally failed to take into account the ability to set up a Bluetooth mouse. At least the ones that I've been using. So like Fedora and OpenSUSE, neither one of those boot into a live environment. So you're just booted right into the installer. There's no way to connect a Bluetooth mouse. On Bluefin, which is based on Fedora, you can get through the installer with just the keyboard. It's just basically, tab to the next button or whatever. But once you get into that, how they have you the user setup creation thing right after install, that one there doesn't have tab to complete with the keyboard. You have to have a mouse, and there's no way to connect a Bluetooth mouse to it. So when I had the other computer before I moved everything back to having 4 monitors, I was screwed because that's the only mouse I have, and it's only connecting via Bluetooth. I suppose I could have unhooked the dongle for the Elecom Huge, but that would have, too much work. So I just said, screw it, I'm not using that computer anymore. Done with it. Anyways, Drew, your first accessory.
Well, I mean, since we're on the mouse train, I guess I will talk. This is not. This doesn't have a ball on the very bottom. Like
I just saw the cord. Okay.
It is a Razer Death Adder Essential Gaming Mouse. I'll have you know.
Oh, you mean like that one?
I don't know. Can't see.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's got like 5 programmable buttons and
same one.
Yeah. It's pretty good though, and I've had it for 5 years, I guess, thereabouts, something like that. And I don't really have any reason to switch off of it either. I mean, it's just mouse is a mouse to me. So I don't know why I even picked one that was probably. I think I got a Razer keyboard at the same time because I for whatever reason I got a Razer mechanical Black Widow keyboard at the same time, and I just wanted them both to kind of look the same, I guess, on my desk.
There's a certain amount of irony that the least gamer person in the room bought the gamer accessories.
I know. I figured maybe my son would use it, but then he was like, "No, I don't want that thing." So I was like, "Okay, I'll take it."
Is that the only piece of RGB that you have, Drew, on your mouse?
Well, the keyboard.
Oh,
keyboard
okay.
and the mouse both.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Drew's been just completely messing with us this whole time, and in front of him, because we can't see in front of him. He just complete RGB. He's an RGB bro. He has it completely, all together, synchronized and stuff to his music and everything.
like what none of us know is like his computer. He hits a button on it. Not only does his entire desk light up with RGB, but the room, the ceiling, like the banister and everything just turns on.
He walks into the
And
room.
every time it's like got dance music and
He walks into the room. Alexa, turn on the battle station. Yeah. All right, hey, Tyler, your first accessory, please.
My first accessory is kind of a very weird one because it's not really like something that's hooked up as an accessory to the PC. It once was, but it's not anymore. I have like we all keep drinks and stuff, at our desk a lot, without lids or anything like that. We probably put ice in the cups and stuff. So you need something like a coaster at your desk. This is my favorite thing at my house now that like no one really I don't ever really talk about or show off. But I have this old 2080 Super. It's broken. Okay. The VRAM is blown out of it. So this is now my coaster. So it is now. So this is going to sound insane and crazy, and it is. But the boom arm that I use for my microphone is, I guess, like not really made for the weight of this Rode Podcaster. So to keep it exactly where I'd like it, my coaster sits right on the edge of it, holds it up, and I have plenty of room to set down my drink and enjoy my day. It's probably the most use I'm going to get out of this, and it makes me look like I'm really arrogant and like elitist.
He has
and,
all
like,
the money in the
super
world. He
wealthy.
just bought himself a $400 or $500 or $600 GPU for a coaster.
But I'm not like it's a piece of junk. So yeah.
That's definitely not where I expected the first one to go. Okay. I what did I have written down first? So, all right.
Feels a GPU.
Yeah. All right. So I have like the most non-Linux thing ever, but I have a Elgato Stream Deck here, and I use this thing all the time. It runs surprisingly well on Linux. There are tools like there's one called Stream Controller. There's a couple other ones, and basically allows you to control your Stream Deck. Now, for those of you who don't know, I can't really show you, but for those who don't know, the Stream Deck is basically the little thing that has like 9 buttons on it that have little screens. You press on it, and it basically does a macro. It's like a macro pad. I could have just gotten a macro pad for like $50 on Amazon, but like I was like, no, I'll just spend $200 on this thing because it looks cool. But surprisingly, it actually is useful. So I have several things. So I have a couple buttons for like when I need to have the video description in the copy in my clipboard. I can press that and it'll put the video description in the clipboard. Same thing for the podcast. I have one to open Crusader. I have several things here, which is I'm getting a lot of shit for this, but I have several buttons for caffeine and do not disturb in GNOME. So anytime I'm in GNOME, I can turn those things on. I have volume. I have one for when I'm in Qtile, having it so that the screen won't turn off. I have not been able to get the screen idle in Hyperland to work via key binding yet. I still got to work on that, but eventually I'll have that in a button as well. So my first one is the Stream Deck. I would not, if you have the money and you have a need for it, I would recommend it if you absolutely know what you're going to use it for. But don't do it just because it looks cool like I did, because I really could do all the same thing with like a number pad assigned with macros with like a X key input or whatever it's called. So yeah, that's my first one. Nate, your next one.
I would say it's probably my audio mixer. I really like my audio mixer. Just for the simple fact that my voice is unique in certain ways. So like in order to make this mic work or make another mic work, I have to tweak it to where it pulls the warmth out of my voice and it doesn't just sound harsh. And so for me, having a good mixer has been key. And plus, extra bonus, it has a DAC in it, so I can also use my earphones and everything sounds good.
I've seen that mixture.
Trial and error on that one, right, Nate? I mean, you tried a lot of things.
Yes, but we finally got there. And by the way, you have a button for GNOME.
Bite me, dude. I'm just saying, bite me.
There-
I
told
actually
you,
have 4.
It's a not so secret affair.
this
Okay.
is a bit that Tyler's been doing for literal years. I don't have an affair with GNOME. I actually don't have it installed right now, but those are legacy buttons. Those were there for a little while. I have
Okay.
Plasma installed, but I've actually not booted into it. Hyperland has been treating me really well lately.
I swear to God, that button probably installs it. Presses that button.
Pseudo zipper in GNOME.
I actually have GNOME installed. I don't know if you guys know this, but we're doing a review of Vanilla OS at some point, and it comes pre-installed with GNOME. So I've been using Vanilla OS.
Yeah, I want to talk about Vanilla OS because I have thoughts on it, but we'll save that for when we actually
We will
do
save.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Drew, your next peripheral.
So Elgato's, since Matt talked about Elgato, I have my video capture device that I use from my testing or my recording PC to my, well, actually not recording, but my testing PC to my recording PC is an Elgato HD60 Plus. I just basically plug it in to my testing PC, and that goes to a USB on my recording PC. And so when I'm using OBS to record the videos that I do, I'm using an HD60 Plus, which is a really nice device so that I can record in basically 1080p. It works great. I know that there is a newer model. I think it's called the HD60X, but for my purposes, this works great.
Yeah, it's also low latency too.
Does that record like when you get into a TTY or something? Will that record the TTY and everything too?
Oh yeah.
Right. I've had a hard I wanted to go cheap, so I got this. I don't even have it hooked up. Let's see if I can actually show this. This is mine. It's a Miramax thing. Supposedly, somebody recommended this to me and told me, yeah, man, that will record BIOS and it will record TTY. Yeah, either I'm too stupid to set it up or it doesn't. I'm gonna go with
any output, basically any output. So like when I boot into installation seat disk or something like that, it just works. And yeah, it's an excellent device.
I may have you send me a link to that because I would like to record like this laptop when I'm doing distro reviews or whatever. That'd be cool. But this capture card thing has scared me away. Tyler, your next one.
My next one is these. These are like, they're cable organizers, and you can get like packs of like a whole bunch of different kinds. One that have like 2 runs, 3 cable runs, 1 whatever, and like they can come in a whole bunch of different sizes. Like one that's very large, whatever. If you have like a standing desk or like just well, for one, you should organize your cables on any desk, but especially if you're going to get a standing desk where it's going to be going up and down, it's kind of important to actually run your cables and have them organized, and not where they're going to get like bunched up and like stuck, twisted. Dogs, especially if you got dogs, they're not going to chew on them, anything like that. These are great, and I would say they've saved me a lot in like damaged cords, but quite literally last night I left my closet door open and I had a box of USB cords that I was going through, and Buddy decided he would play with those. So
You're always blaming the dog for shit. We know it's you, man.
I don't know.
I'm definitely not sitting in the closet chewing on them damn cords. So.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Matt's method better. Just put a RGB light on the cords and it makes it.
Hey, you want? I probably bought the exact same pack that Tyler did. It comes in like a
I did too.
Well, it comes in like a white box, has all these really cool things, and I've done it underneath my brand new standing desk. The cable management is way better than it has any right to be, but it's still god awful. Like, so even with those things, I'm just bad at cable management. So, like, I have tons of those things like glued underneath my desk, and they're like routing things. But yeah, I have a strip light of RGB underneath there, and that is a mistake, by the way. Like, you can see everything that's wrong. It's so bad. I would not win any awards for cable management. Like. And let's just
Me neither.
just hold off from that. I think other than Tyler, we all have visible cables. Like Drew has some there on the floor, and Nate, you can't cable management the number of monitors. It's just impossible. So,
I mean, I could, but I wouldn't be on a podcast for about 3 months.
well, then you move things around so often, it'd be horrible to do. All right. My next one is going to be the Elecom Huge. This thing, I couldn't live without this thing. Like, I would literally die without the Elecom Huge. This thing is so good, and it desperately needs to be replaced or at least cleaned. But it is, if you are interested in trackballs at all, and you can't get around with the thumb trackers like Tyler and Nate have, but you're more of a finger tracker kind of guy, this is the best one you can get. It is so astonishingly good. It molds to your hand, so it just rests there. It has a ton of different programmable buttons that you can program in Linux if you know what you're doing. And it's just so very, very good. It does take a little while to get used to. I don't know if you guys, both of you who use trackballs, had this experience, but with me, a new trackball takes about a week and a half or so to actually break in. It requires, get the oils all in the right place and whatever. At first, like, this thing was like, I don't like this thing at all. Like, I think I actually unplugged it and stopped using it. What are you laughing about? Something about the fingering, right? Yeah.
That's just low hanging fruit, fellas. I'm sorry.
Yeah, get your minds out of the gutter, you assholes.
You said finger tracker.
That's what they're called. What do you want from me? I didn't come up with the goddamn term.
No, it was just funny because
Well, I was sitting there talking. Tyler's face is just getting redder and redder and redder, like goddamn tomato over there.
well, it was
I
because
didn't. That's what they're called, okay?
No,
and
my
it didn't
phone
help
went
that I
off.
did this in the middle, right? Yeah.
My phone went off. I had forgot to put it on silent, and I was like, "Oh crap!" So like, I look at it and I see it's a message from Nate. And I'm like, "Oh, it's probably important," like. Not read it. And so obviously I smile, like, and I look, and as I'm smiling, I look and make dead eye contact with Nate, and both of us start laughing.
I'm surrounded by assholes, is what what's happening. Anyways, get the Elecom Huge. You won't be sorry that she did, assholes. Nate, I'm a little bit afraid to ask now. What's your next one?
So mine is actually microphones, but it's not this one. It's actually these. It plugs into my phone. So if I'm recording a video or working on something, I can just plug that into my phone, and one of these will connect to it and just wear it like a lapel, and does great.
Cool. Drew, your next one?
Since I was in the Elgato family, I'm gonna double down, and my webcam, rather. I was just like, what is that thing? It's a camera. It's not a DSLR. It's actually an Elgato Facecam MK.2, and it is very good. Nate's often said, I like your camera. It does really well in terms of streaming or video conferencing, and it's full HD, so it works great. It's a Facecam MK2. It's another Elgato product.
Is it just 1080p 30 or is it 1080p 60?
No, it's 1080p 60. I looked it up.
60.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Just for reference, like, my next thing is going to be my Brio, and I'm going to recommend people to, if they actually want to get a better webcam, go with yours. 1080p 60, even though the Brio has technically higher resolution and a higher field of view, you're going to get a better looking quality going with a good 1080p webcam that gets a higher refresh rate. Because once you start moving your arms around, it makes a big difference. That extra 30 FPS makes a big difference.
You also won't have this stupid fucking bug where if you use it in Discord, every 5 seconds it flashes green.
I was waiting for that.
Yes. Yeah.
It's the dumbest thing you've ever seen, and there's no solution for it other than just not using the thing in Discord.
There's no fix, and it has existed since the dawn of time. They will not fix it.
Right, and it's
Since they released the product.
and it's not like all Logitech cameras have it. The C920 works perfectly fine in Discord, right? And on the same computer, like, it's just the stupidest thing ever. And it's not even like, oh, it just happens for Tyler. No, I have the exact same fucking problem. It's the stupidest thing ever. So yeah, don't buy that.
It's overpriced too. So
and it's fucking really expensive. I still use it because I'm just not buying another camera right now. But eventually, I'm gonna go with a DSLR. Just like eventually, a mirrorless camera will make its way into my Amazon cart, and I won't be able to say no. But
Sony or Canon?
I'm gonna go with Sony. I think I'm gonna get the NEVZ. I don't know. Sony has the stupidest fucking names.
Yeah,
has a 10 in there somewhere. All YouTubers use it. So eventually, but it's like $700, and I don't want to spend $700 at the moment.
Well,
so
I mean, I might. I mean, hit me up about my A6000. Might be able to talk.
Okay, Tyler, you want to talk more about your Brio that you're recommending people not to use?
I mean, I really don't have much more to say about it. It works really nice, but I wouldn't it works really nice as long as you're willing to run it through OBS or just like not allow it to touch Discord. It works fine, but there's much better bang for buck. So it's not like I want to talk about a lot about it and have someone accidentally like come in at the wrong moment and go and buy one. Like, no, like, get something else. I'd much rather somebody buy a C920 over a Brio or a DSLR. Like, there's no in between. Like, get yourself a C920 or
what's the price point on all these though? I mean,
So the C920 can get for like what, $69 or something like that. It's like
or used and get it for 30.
And then like I think yours is like just over the $100 price point, right?
I think it's like 129 or something like that.
Yeah. And then the Brio is like $200.
Yeah, it's like $200.
What, like, that Brio is not worth it like at all.
Yeah,
you could say like you could spend half the money and get decent quality, spend a little bit more and get like Drew's got some pretty dang good quality. So like you could spend a little bit more and get that. If you're going to spend as much as you would on a Brio, just save up and spend the like $600 to like $800 on a DSLR and call it a done deal. Like,
Drew has the best video quality out of all of us, which is just makes me eternally jealous.
I'm trying to look it up, but I'm almost positive that particular one also has a mirrorless camera on it, which is why it's so good. Because I went to look it up.
He also apparently has the best internet because he's always like crystal clear. Nate has Elon internet and looks pixelated a lot. Tyler is on like you're using the webcam on your laptop, right? Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you look like you're on a laptop camera. I have the Brio and I look like I'm if I have the lights off right now, I look like I've never seen the sun before. I've never been outdoors. I'm allergic to the sun.
I was talking about this earlier with Hip Dad because me and him were testing out Jitsi and like I was using the Brio. For whatever reason, it made the scene darker. Like compared to the Brio on Linux, it made it just a touch darker, like just a touch. But then there was this blue hue. And it made me look white as a ghost. Like, I mean, I could have been Casper's cousin. So.
By the way, that movie came out before you were born. I'm pretty sure.
I think it did. Yeah.
If it weren't for the rosy cheeks, I would be ghost white right now. Even with like, if I turn the lights back on, I'm even whiter. Like I get whiter. Like I go through a bleaching cycle with the fucking with the light on. It's the stupidest thing ever. It's just a bad. The Brio is it's a legitimately bad camera. It can be good if you put a ton of fucking work into it and you use just OBS, like where you have a ton of like microscopic controls over. But if you're running your camera through like Jitsi first, like I am, this doesn't look like good. If you like get close, if I get close to the screen, I can see like. It's like fuzzy. It's stupid. So yeah, don't buy that camera. Sorry, get a little bit of a rant there. Buy Drew's camera. Don't buy the Brio. All right. Speaking of not recommending anybody to buy something, I am a keyboard nerd. I don't know if you guys knew this about me. You guys
Shocking.
Right.
Never knew.
I
Shocking.
have more keyboards than Nate has monitors. And,
Sadly, that is a fact.
and it's not a close competition. So I have an entire room across the way that has like one of those big gigantic metal shelves. 2 or 3 shelves of those is just filled with keyboards. I really do need a better way of displaying them. But anyways, the thing that I'm going to talk about right now is called the Dactyl Manuform. And this keyboard, without keycaps, without key switches, costs over $500. So if you want to get actually use it, you have to then buy the things that make it a keyboard. But it is by far the best keyboard that I've ever purchased. I can't actually show you because I don't want to mess around with cords and stuff. But it is a phenomenal split keyboard. It molds to the shape of your hand so that it will allow you to reach the top and the bottom keys very, very easily. It's so comfortable. It is probably the last keyboard I'll ever buy. Okay, that's not true, but it's I've thought about other keyboards. Like every time I think about it, it's like this is a very, very good keyboard. If you like split keyboards, but you couldn't quite get your mind around the Moonlander, which is just ortholinear and very flat, this here is curved and for me, it was so much better. Now, granted, it's a ton more expensive than the Moonlander, but this one it's just great. It's not something I would recommend anybody to buy unless you are a keyboard enthusiast, have really serious RSI problems that this might solve, and or all 3 of them have enough cash to spend on it, because it is phenomenally expensive. It is not, however, the most expensive keyboard I've ever purchased, though. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. And you're complaining that you don't have money for a DSLR? Holy smokes.
I did not say I didn't have money for a DSLR, just that I don't want to spend it.
Okay.
Wait, so
Other than keyboards, I'm phenomenally cheap, okay? But if I see a keyboard, I can't help myself. Say it again, Tyler.
Do you have a gold keyboard?
I don't know. I don't have a gold keyboard. That's a good idea, though. No, I don't.
Well, I mean,
So I built my most expensive keyboard is the keyboard that I built from literal scratch, like soldered and everything together. That came to 700 something, I think, somewhere around that around that area.
Oh, you bought the one that has the board, just the plain board, and then
Like
you had
with
to
the kit?
add all the pads and everything underneath it.
Well,
and
it's
solder
a
together.
KBD keyboard. It's a KBD
Yeah.
75. You build it from literal scratch. It's not a good keyboard, really, to be honest with you, but mainly because I'm shit at soldering and a couple keys just don't work. So that's more
You could've just left
problem.
it hot swappable.
Say it again, Nate.
You could have just left it hot swappable.
Well, I could have done that, but then I wouldn't have had the experience.
Well, and also I will say too, for someone who struggles with soldering, no one really talks about it a lot, but making sure you have good solder joints for your hot swappable sockets is much different, because if you do that little, like, I'm a little nervous and just put a dab of solder on there, yeah, you go like that that socket ain't gonna sit in there right. So
So I'm better at soldering now than I was when I built that keyboard. So I could go through and desolder those and restart them, start over.
that's a lot of work.
But I like the Dactyl so much that I just haven't done it. So it's just it's a display piece and it's fine. But most people aren't like me. Like I subscribe to more than 10 YouTube channels that are all about keyboards. That's so it's a hobby for me, and it is an expensive hobby, but it's not the most expensive hobby ever. You could be into cars, so it's also not like an it's not like I could be I don't know I don't know. There are many
So
more.
quick question then. Is 700 the most that you spent on a keyboard?
Me personally, yes.
Okay.
But
All
is
right.
it the most that could be spent on a keyboard? No.
No, I know that.
Not even close. So a couple of my friends who are in that community have spent probably $3,000 or $4,000 on a couple of their keyboards, and because they're buying O-rings for each of the key switches, and they switch out the key switches a lot. Like, so they have a ton of key switches, and then they do every mod you can imagine. Some of that stuff is really expensive. Some of it's really cheap too. Like you just putting masking tape on the bottom is really cheap. but they've spent a ton of money on some of their boards, and some of them have done custom keycaps, which are phenomenally expensive. If you're doing custom like single run keycaps, those can run upwards of $500 just the keycaps, because it's just the single run of them. If you were to order a whole bunch of them, it would actually be cheaper per set, because they spread that shit out. But they've done
well, I mean, a lot of the like super big keyboard enthusiasts, once you get up to the point where like you're not even ordering kits, like you're ordering from like JCPCB and like putting in your own designs that you're getting, like open source board designs and stuff like that. Like, because I mean, I've built my own split keyboard. Like I like doing that stuff. Like you can save money doing that, but once you get to that point, like you'll start putting the expensive stuff becomes not so much the components, but like the aesthetics of the build. Like, because I know people who get their entire keycap set done as like resin prints with like artists who like put like fish or like different designs in each cap that goes over the entire. Like the keyboards look incredible, but like each keycap's like $24.
Yeah, and you can do custom switches and stuff like that too, where you kind of mix match different springs and different stems and a whole bunch of stuff. And when you're getting into that part, you're either doing it yourself, where you like buy 2 different sets and you mix and match them. They're called Franken switches. A lot of people will do that because they want different actuation and stuff like that. So it's a whole thing. And as you get into that thing, the more you realize it's an expensive place to be if you're going to stay there. I have been there for years, obviously, and I know I joke about it, but I do think that I'm done. The Dactyl's just so good, so I'll use this until it dies. There is another one that I looked at that's from the same company that actually built this one, because I didn't build the Dactyl myself because it's 3D printed, and I don't have a 3D printer. But they have one that's more expensive, which isn't why it drew me, but they will actually take pictures of your hand, and it's literally molded to your specific hand, and it will allow you to then have it like literally a one-of-one keyboard. It's not, I mean, it's more expensive than the Dactyl, but not, way more. I thought it also has a built-in trackball on both sides, which is just pretty cool. But anyways, I'm a keyboard nerd, guys. I'm sorry. They're going off in the chat. Like, what is this guy talking about? It's just a thing for me. I can't help it. It's a hobby. Anyways, that's my next one. Nate, your next one. I've talked enough about keyboards.
Well, let's just hit the elephant in the room. Obviously, monitors.
Really?
Without monitors, you wouldn't be able to see the text or read them. And if you ask for my favorite one, the answer is yes. With that being said, I am actually looking
Does it turn on?
Yes. There is one I am looking for to match my, floppy disk over here. I want the orange monochrome one, the little small one.
Yeah.
And that way, when I load in my, that way you can like see the text come down.
The thing that disappoints me most about Nate's setup is that there's no CRT in the background. Like it seems like a missed opportunity for there not to be a CRT monitor somewhere.
Listen, we all have regrets when we were younger. Throwing away my 3 CRTs that were still working, that's one of them.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes. And I had a 20-inch Panasonic one.
And those things are,
yeah.
You can go on like eBay, and those things are really pretty. Like they're pretty penny these days.
Yeah, like $600 something.
Yeah, they're like they're really expensive.
Yeah, that's a memory you don't have to bring up again. I'm sure it hurts.
He let go of his babies. They just he set them free, and they didn't return.
Now you know why I keep buying more. It's to fill the void that was.
How many monitors do you attach to your main PCs? I know. So Matt, you're 4. Mm-hmm. Is it 4?
Yep.
On your main PC.
Yep.
Okay. How about you, Nate? How many? Just for your one PC?
Your main 6 right now.
6? Wow.
God bless.
I don't even know how that's possible, but okay.
Multiple GPUs, probably.
No, it's the same GPU.
Jesus, what GPU are you running?
Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I have a dedicated GPU, And then my laptop has its dedicated GPU, and I have a USB 4 hub that allows me to hook in to more monitors. Plus, actually, I have 7 because I just forgot that I also have my tablet plugged in and using it as a secondary monitor as well. So yeah, there you go, 7.
The next time you guys tell me I have a problem with keyboards, I'm just gonna point to Nate. Like, okay, we both have problems.
I mean, Matt, like I really don't think you have a problem with keyboards. I do think you have a problem with workspaces. I mean, I've always thought that one, but like, you know, to each their own.
I
Like
feel like I'm being
you could have
attacked.
30 workspaces.
I
it's
don't
fine.
have 30 workspaces. Calm down. It's only 17.
It's only over half.
Okay, Matt does the workspaces. I can't stand to have multiple, like trying to tab through all these different ones. So I just add a monitor and put something up there, and there we go.
He has the same number of workspaces. They're just all on their own monitor,
Exactly.
right?
They have their own screens.
You have multiple monitors, Tyler?
Right now, no. I normally run about 2 monitors. Like I normally run 2, maybe 3 monitors, but it's normally 2. Right now, just because I'm on the laptop, I've actually got my mini DisplayPort cord here, so I could plug it up, but
I'm jealous of Drew's.
I have one. I mean, that's all. I have one monitor that.
Nate, I don't think we can be friends with him anymore. I mean, that's just
okay.
We're so basic, like, dude. And I mean, I'm like
I mean, it is an ultra wide, so
Yeah.
I mean, it is kind of like,
okay. I suppose that's okay.
But I have 12
Meanwhile,
and one ultra wide monitor.
Drew, stop. You're making me look really bad here. Okay, I have one 14-inch 1080p monitor. You're kind of like crucifying me. I need someone to be close to right now.
Yeah,
they're gonna kick me off the pod.
Sorry, I'm throwing you under the bus.
Well, if you sell that 2080,
just label it as a coaster on eBay. It'd be fine. Sure, someone will say it. Drew, your next accessory.
34-inch ultra wide gaming monitor. It's really not, I mean, honestly, I had to buy a new one, and I'm having a little bit of buyer's regret right now because I had a 34-inch ultra wide that I really liked. It's sitting over there because it went up in smoke. Basically, I have no idea why. And then I replaced it with another 34. But as soon as I did, like I said, I had like regret because I was thinking, man, I could have got maybe a little bit more, like a 39 or a 44 or something, whatever the next kind of like, whatever the next bigger one is. Or maybe even go up 2, because I know that there are 49-inch ultra wides and maybe even more than that. But the bigger companies like Samsung have like a 49-inch ultra wide that I'm thinking, oof, that would have been nice. That would have been really cool. I don't know that I would have used it. I do have limited space, but overall, having my setup with one monitor and 12 workspaces works great for me.
I'm going to say something that's going to make Nate mad, but there are times when I wish I only had one monitor. A lot of my problems, like I don't have very many problems with Linux, but the vast majority of the problems I've had over the years have been caused because I have multiple monitors. Like that whole, you guys remember years back where I kept having this stupid problems where the monitors wouldn't go to sleep? Works perfectly fine on one monitor. Multiple monitors doesn't work. And that's like across distros, across desktop environments and everything. For whatever reason, this computer with multiple monitors just doesn't work very well. Also, there's certain things that just, like I want to try Neri, right? Neri is like a scrolling window manager. It works like fucking garbage on multiple monitors. It just it's not meant for it. It works great on the laptop. Won't work really well here because it's just meant for kind of like a single thing in your face and not 4. So there's been certain times where I thought one monitor would be better for me, but then I think like what would I do with all, like I have all these workspaces, but only being able to see one at a time would be just, oh man, that just sounds painful. I did hook up my 4th monitor again, so I do have 4th monitor. I will say this, I have the LG Dual Up, which I didn't put on my list. I would not recommend the LG Dual Up, but I've warmed up to it. Like there have been times where I hated this fucking monitor. It's like the stupidest thing I've ever purchased. Like it's dumb, but I've got it dialed in now where I have it set up as in a 2 monitor setup. So it's basically two 21-inch monitors stacked on top of each other. It works fairly well in that situation. Just while we're on monitors, I highly recommend, if you're going to do the multi-monitors things, buy the same monitor for all of yours. Like just do that. Like don't do what I have a 1080p 27-inch monitor. I have a 32-inch 1080p monitor, and I have two in the LG form of the LG Dual Up that are 1440p. And Linux, especially if you're still an Xorg, does not handle that situation well. So that's, yeah, it's just not great. Anyways, Tyler, your next one, please.
Mine is going to be a kind of taking it back to kind of something else that we talked about. Now that I have a ThinkPad, I don't think I can. I haven't touched, like, I've got the trackball mouse, but I'm not really using it. Since I've started using the track point, commonly referred to as the nipple, I have no need for a mouse. If you're having a problem where the track point feels a little like slow, just turn up the sensitivity. You'll be good. It's phenomenal. Like I swear. Now, I will say the ThinkPad I came with was one of the models where Lenovo started putting these bad boys in there. These like flat. These suck. These suck so much. Spend $20. Get the one that has the buttons at the top and throw it in your ThinkPad. It's really not hard at all. It takes about 5 minutes to do the switch over. And I don't know. I only use the actual like touchpad for like two-finger scrolling or like gestures to like go back and forth between like workspaces and stuff like that, which I haven't actually set that up on DWM or anything, but that's pretty much the only thing I would use it for. I do use it for scrolling, but yeah, it's a way better way of like interacting with your mouse. It's very nice. I like it.
I would just like to take a moment to point out that he said the word nipple multiple times and no laughs. I said fingering, and you guys were like, you laughed like 20 minutes.
Yes.
I did, in fact, do that. Okay. Whatever. I'm just going to say my last one here. So I have the Universal Audio. It's UA Volt 276, I think, is my audio interface. I've had many audio interfaces in the past. I had the Focusrite 2i2. I think I had that. Maybe it was the Solo. That's the one I started out with. I had the one that Tyler has now. If you're gonna buy a audio interface, I highly recommend getting one that will actually do everything that you want it to do right off from the start. Don't do, just get, like, one Tyler has works fine for you, Tyler, right? And you know, it's fine.
It does everything I want it
right.
to too. So
I have had a hard time basically since I started making videos getting my voice to sound like I went through puberty. I know this sounds really weird, but I don't have a high squeaky voice in real life, but every mic I've ever had, for whatever reason, makes me sound like my voice breaks, and it's not a pretty picture. But anyways, adding a little bit of compression before it goes into the computer has made a world of difference. Made it sounds like I actually have a voice that can be on camera instead of a 12-year-old boy. Which, by the way, I'm not a 12-year-old boy. Someone keeps asking, like, Matt, how do you look so young? I'm 40 years old, guys. I just turned 40 in March, okay? I'm not young. I have actually, you know, I can say that my voice is a little deeper than it was when 25 years ago. But anyways, the Universal Audio one that I have has 4 different compression modes on it, and it just makes it changes the way your voice comes through, and it works so much better than any of the ones that I have had before. Add on top of, I now have the Cloud Magic, like it's a booster basically. It just adds some decibels to it. So because the SM7B is notoriously like really low in terms of power output, So adding those two things together actually makes it sound fairly decent. I won't say that I'm like an audio aficionado or anything. Like I can't tell the difference between a lot of things, but this makes it sound at least reasonable to me. So I would recommend this one, but only if you're going to be able to use it, because it is like $250. So if you're not going to get everything out of it that you can get something cheaper. There's a one that steps down from this that only has the single input or whatever, and that's the one that Drew has. That's quite a bit cheaper. They make one without the compression if you don't need it. I will recommend the universal audio stuff though, because it's just built like a tank. Also, I've dropped this thing before, and it works fine. So that's my last one. Nate, do you have more?
I do, but I think this one's going to just be one that I wish that I had.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and transition then to ones that we're looking at but haven't purchased yet. So, Nate, tell us one of those.
So for me, it's an office chair, a good office chair. I have a lot of back pain and I have a very terrible office chair. That's got to be my next purchase, 100%, because without, like, if you don't have a good base to start with, then you're just not going to be productive at all. There's a lot of times, even like editing podcasts, I have to get up and walk away because my back hurts too bad because I don't have a good chair. So if you're going to sit at the computer a lot, invest in a chair. Out of everything else, I'm just telling you straight up, invest in a chair.
That's good advice. It's really good advice.
For sure. I also have a horrible office chair, but I'm not getting rid of it because it's also the sturdiest thing I've ever sat on. So sometimes you just find something that works and you don't want to replace it. So Drew, are there any accessories that you don't have that you would like to purchase in the future?
I talked about maybe getting a larger monitor. That's kind of like I don't know. That's probably not going to be in the future. I will say that I have a Altec Lansing speakers with a subwoofer that has been like, a tank, like to use Matt's words, a tank for the last, like, I don't even know. It could be 30 years old, guys. I have no idea how old this thing is. I remember it being a gift from Redmond, Washington, just so you know, from the company that will not be named. But they sent me a whole speaker system for whatever I did for them. I think I wrote an article for them or something. And I've been waiting for it to die for a really long time. And it's just been working and working and working. I would like a nicer, maybe a speaker system for my PC. That's one thing that I kind of use a lot is music through the PC, and to have really good speakers is a blessing.
Yeah, I have more to say about that, but I'll wait till my turn. Tyler, are there any accessories that you don't have that you'd like to purchase should you like win the lottery or something?
Not particularly. I already have some. They're called USB-C PD trigger modules. They can be used to convert a lot of devices over to charging. PD means power delivery, but it's USB-C modules they have different solder points on them, so you can change the voltage that they're going to intake and output. And like the ones that I bought come default at 20 volts, so they are compatible with most laptops. And so you can take those, wire them up for me, the next time I get into my laptop, which will most likely be tomorrow, I'm going to be converting it over to charging from USB-C. And like, I think those are really cool. And probably the only other thing that I'm looking forward to getting is the short M.2 drive, the 2242. I'm looking forward to getting one of those to throw in here. But I mean, who doesn't like some more storage? Also, Nate, I'm going to go ahead and do this on the podcast just so, everyone knows if I'm beaten next podcast, you know why, and I deserved it. I accidentally made my temp directory on RAM and made it too small. So I had to cut this recording, and that snap you saw me do was to hopefully make it to where you'll be able to line it up. I'm sorry I made your life more difficult, but that's the one thing I'm good at.
No,
So-
Nate, I'm not editing this week. That's why is it that whenever we have audio problems, it's always Tyler's fault?
Always.
It's OpenBSD.
No,
Yes.
you can't blame OpenBSD because it happens on Linux. It's happened on Mac before. I'm pretty sure this is just a Tyler problem.
Well, and like, let's be honest, OpenBSD didn't make the literal decision to put temp on RAM. That was somebody else. A very manual decision.
All right, so I'm just gonna list the things that I want, so that, and then Nate and Drew, you guys can, if you have other ones, you can add them as well, so we can jump into the Nuggies. But I want to reduce some of my network stuff. If I were to literally have an infinite money, I would love to put up a whole Unify setup for my network. That'd be really cool. But that shit is fucking expensive, so I don't think it's ever gonna happen. But I'd love to do that. It'd be so cool. I know I said I was done with keyboards, but I would also like to buy another Dactyl so that I can use it with another computer. That's also probably never going to happen, but I would if I could. Another one, I talked about this earlier. I'm going to buy the capture card that Drew has. Not literally Drew's, but the same one. And then my last one is better camera. This can't. I know I bitched about it earlier, but this camera is literally the worst thing in my entire setup. Like, it doesn't keep focus. Like, I have autofocus turned off, but if I like move my hand or something like that, like you guys can see, like it tries to focus on my hand, and like it's off. Like, I have autofocus turned off. I have camera tools or whatever. Nate, you sent me to camera tools or whatever they're called. You could turn autofocus off. Doesn't matter. It doesn't listen to shit. It's like, nope, I'm going to do what the fuck I want. It's just I will never buy. Like the funny thing is, like, the C920. That thing is a fucking tank. I've had it since college. I've been out of college since 2010. Okay, I could hurl this thing at a wall. It wouldn't break. It'd still be fine. It's also only 720p, so it's a problem. But I use it. It's great for Discord. This thing here, it's the worst $200 I've ever spent. I've never liked it. I'm using it because I don't, just eventually I'm going to buy a DSLR or mirrorless camera and just do it. Either that, or I'm going to buy the camera that Drew has and extend my ability to just do things without having to worry about the stupid autofocus. So those are the ones that I would like to eventually buy. So Drew or Nate, do you have other ones that you want to add to your list of wants?
Yeah, I'll spit them off real quick. I want to update my networking and finish out with my Ubiquity. Number 2, I want to add a server rack and put all of my systems in that server rack, besides, well, obviously laptops. I want to get a new camera for like what Drew has. Also, I think my next thing I really want to do is finish that room that's over here and expand my office and have a bigger office space.
Nice. Drew, do you have any more wants that you want to share?
Yeah, the one thing that I talked to Nate about actually is replacing all of my Cat 5 with something better in my house. My entire house basically is wired. Every room basically has has an access point and stuff. So I've been in this house more than 15 years. It was originally wired this way, and I would like to update all of that cabling. That would be really cool. I did get one quote. It was like $1,800. I don't know. We'll see.
I would love to have my house completely wired as well, but it's never going to happen. Tyler, do you have any wants that you want to share, or are you all done there?
Nah, I'm done.
Okay, we're going to then move over into, because we have significantly outpaced the hour time. So we're going to move into our Nuggies of the week real quick. So the Nuggies are our time to share really cool things that we found, and we just like to put them out there. So I'm actually going to go first just to get it out of the way, because I already talked about it mostly. I'm going to use Ghost CMS as my Nuggie of the week. It is pretty good. It was very, very easy to set up. So I'm running it on a Debian VPS. Basically, you just install it and set up the systemd service so that it's running in the background, and there you go. That's literally all there is to it. I believe it was installed like via Gem or it was one of those programming package managers. I don't really remember which one it was, but anyways, you just install that and it goes. It was astonishingly simple to set up. There was no GitHub actions or anything that you needed to deal with because you host it on a server. And the background, the back end is really, really good. It does have if you are interested in trying to make money from your blogging, it allows you to set up like tiers or whatever, similar to Patreon, but you host it by yourself. So that's cool. It's a very good CMS. Like I said, I had some problems to begin with, but it's been really solid since then. It is miles and way better than WordPress because the editor in WordPress is just fucking garbage. It's so bad. The one in Ghost, really, really good. So that's my Nuggie of the week. Nate, your Nuggie of the week.
So since we talked about hardware and this is my topic, I decided to add a software for my Nuggie of the week. Mine is Invoice Shelf. If you're like me and kind of run your own business, it's really hard to find a decent program that would do like invoices or estimations and stuff like that for you. And I was scrolling through my YouTube as one does, and Awesome Open Source talked about this particular one, and I actually installed it. I have it on that PC, and I've been using it. It's really nice. It's really well developed. Also, they don't have an iOS or Android app, but it is coming eventually. So you'll be able to do everything from your phone as well, or tablet, or whatever you have. So, if you're like me and you're moving out of a normal job and going into your own business, this might be something that you can look into and be able to keep track of everything.
Okay, True, your Nuggie of the week.
A couple months ago, I went in heavy into learning about all of the different models for AI and what they did, and have been trying a lot of them out. And so even to the point where I'm using something called Open Router, not sure if any of you guys are familiar with it, but Open Router is basically a way to incorporate in one API key into your self-hosted web interface for AI. And it will bring in all of these different models, like over 300 models, and you basically pay as you go. But with trying out all these, I have been really focused on using something called Claude AI, which is built by a company called Anthropic. And because of that, I was looking on YouTube, and a couple months ago, they came out with a video about Claude Code. Now, it's only good for, I think actually you have to be a Claude Max subscriber, and I am currently, but it is expensive. Okay, it's like $100 a month. Now, what you can do is actually have it incorporate, you install it so that you are looking at your terminal, and it is working with Claude through your terminal, and whatever directory you're in, if you say, okay, this is my project, it will actually look at all of the files within that project, and then you can make like really, really intricate changes. You say, oh, I don't like that. And Claude will like actually edit your code within that project in your terminal. It's kind of freaking amazing. And granted, if you should definitely do a little bit more, either both reading and looking at videos on YouTube if you are ever interested in this. I'm only about 6 hours into this kind of like idea, but it is so far so good, I guess is my point.
Cool. Tyler, your Nuggie of the week.
Mine would be shell scripting. I've had a blast doing a lot of it here recently, but I did actually I posted a video talking about, I think I kind of talked about a few different ones that I was working on, but I've posted my recording script for OpenBSD.
He's posted so many videos lately, he doesn't even remember.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But I've also been working on a YouTube search one, and that one I've had a lot of fun doing that. I mean, for most people, you've probably got hardware where YouTube is extremely fast and responsive. Mine, it's not that it's unusable. It's not very responsive. The UI as a whole, the loading videos is fine, but UI as a whole is kind of slow. So it's just been a fun project, and it's been it's been really funny to use Chat GPT. I've been using a lot of Chat GPT lately, just playing around with it, seeing how useful it can be. I cannot believe vibe coding is like a new term that people are like using. How? I've had full blown arguments where I am like in all caps bolding things, like screaming at it, telling it it's wrong, and it's like, okay, and then repeats the same thing. I'm like, oh my god, like
Okay. We could do a whole episode on vibe coding. I think because the fact that the new generations think that this is something that's actually new is really weird to me, because like script kiddies have been around forever, guys.
yes,
You know, like
yes.
that's been a thing
This is nothing
forever.
new.
We just called it Stack Overflow before, okay? Yeah, it just wasn't so automatic. All right.
Speaking of coding, don't need this anymore.
I think that's where we need to stop. All right. I am putting a wrap on this one, guys. This is the end of the podcast. So if you want to get in contact with us, you can do so. Email at thelinuxcast.org is the best way to do so. Just send us an email. I'll forward it on to whoever it needs to go to. That's the best way to do it. Or you can just find all of our contact information at thelinuxcast.org/contact. Thelinuxcast.org is our website. There you'll find previous episodes all the way back to season 1. The more recent versions are also there, and also some blog posts that I share from time to time. So check that out as well. If you want to find the boys here on their YouTube channels, that they are surprising and being shown up on by Tyler. Like usually we make fun of Tyler not doing videos. Like, he's the YouTuber here now, guys. The rest of us need to pick up our slack, because this is ridiculous. Anyways, Tyler has a YouTube channel that he now knows how to use. He's at youtube.com/ZanyOG. Check him out if you're into OpenBSD, or, I mean, he's been a YouTuber, by the way, longer than any of us here. Like, his channel is the oldest, and he has like content.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, by far. I think like it's not even really all that close. Anyways, check him out, ZanyOG on YouTube. Nate is Nate Picks Tech World. He also has some videos up. He specializes in hardware and stuff like that, so he's a little bit different than the rest of us. Drew, he does a whole bunch of awesome stuff on his channel. He talks about home labbing and scripting and window managers, and of course Debian. You can't not mention Drew and Debian in the same sentence when we're talking about this. You can find him, Just the Guy Linux, on YouTube as well. So give them all a subscribe, go follow them, find their stuff. You won't be sad that you did. You can obviously find me at the Linux Cast on YouTube. We record this podcast live every Tuesday night at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to watch us live, the folks in the live chat have a wonderful time, usually just carrying on without us. And if you want to do that, you can come join us 8:00 p.m. Eastern Time every Tuesday. But if you can't, we post a edited version of the show, which is basically just taking out the pre-show and all the ums, and also stitching Tyler's audio back together. You know, yeah. That's posted on Saturday evenings. The editing for that is done by Mr. Nate, so we thank him so much for making us sound pretty. Or as pretty as possible, you know. So anyways, if you do listen or watch the recorded version and you're listening to it on a podcatcher like Apple Podcasts or Pocket Casts, if you'd leave us a review, we'd really appreciate it. It'd really help the channel. Even if you don't listen to the podcast and you have an Apple account, head on over to Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. If you leave us a 4-star review, we will get... I'm kidding. You can leave whatever review you want. They all help. Even the negative stuff will help. Even if you just call us a bunch of nerds or whatever you want to do, that's fine. Leave us a review. It helps. Anyways, that's the best thing to do if you want to do that. So the last thing I need to do is pimp the lug. So if you're watching us live, we have a Linux user group coming up this Thursday at 11:15 a.m. Eastern Time. Nailed it. Right day, right time, first time ever. Join us. The best way to figure out, or the best way to find out when that's actually happening, is to follow me on Mastodon or join the Discord server. Both of those places I send out reminders for. We do the lug 2 times a month. So if you can't join us for this early one, we do a second one on the fourth Thursday of every month at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And the early one is on the second Thursday of every month at 11:15 a.m. Eastern time. So if you can get to both, if you can't get to both, whatever. We also stream that and post it afterwards. So if you can't catch us and join, you can watch it afterwards. And we always have really cool conversations between about 15 to 20 people. It's usually a good time. So join us if you can. If not, watch it afterwards. So that's it for this one. I think that I did a pretty good job on that last little bit there, and I don't think I forgot anything. I'm sure I actually probably did now that I think about it. Anyways, that's it for this one. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. See ya.
Shop at thelendicast.org.
Yeah, buy a hat. You can't buy this hat because it's a Super Bowl hat. And by the way, did you guys know that the Eagles won the Super Bowl? I just want to let you guys know that, just in case.
Never heard of it.
What is this sports ball of which you